Hey guys, Chris again. So I wanted to make a video where I could tell you guys about the contest, about the competition, but also wanted to make myself useful and show you how to do something. So I bought the 800 millimeter barrel in 30 caliber and in 25 caliber. I'm thinking about doing the 22 also, but it's kind of frustrating because I have all three in 700 and they'll just be sitting here now. But it does add a lot of velocity, so I'm getting my 48 grain 25 caliber slugs up to like 1,000, almost 1,050 feet per second with the 800 millimeter barrel and everything I have done to that gun, which is a lot. But if anybody else is like on that journey to try to get the highest velocity you can with that, while maintaining accuracy, that's another step in it. So I'm also this is the clamp that goes at the end of my saber tactical rail that goes onto the shroud. So they make a fitting that fits the carbon fiber sleeve into it, but the way I am, of course, I'm going to make it myself. So this is a rubber grommet that's for when you make a hole in your firewall or something to that effect, something of that sort. And I'm going to shave it down with an X-Acto knife to the size it needs to be to fit in that clamp so that I can put that back on this, because I saw a lot of people there with harmonic balancers, harmonic barrel tuners, and it got me thinking about actually trying one. And then somebody else mentioned that you just adapt this, and because I did have good accuracy with it before, I just wonder if that could actually make it even better, or if it's just going to add one more thing to drive me nuts, because I'm kind of a perfectionist. But anyways, the competition didn't go so well for me, most of it. I did well in the really long range, the 200, 250, and 300. There was an event with that, but the bench rest. So if you look right over here at these targets real quick, these are USBR official certified targets. You see where the sight-in targets are? The top row. At the competition, they were in the bottom row. So my first bench rest, I shot the top row as sight-ins because I was at 20 times zoom and couldn't see the bottom targets. So by the time I did see the bottom targets, I just kept shooting as I was and hoped that they would know that all the official target, all the rifle associations, all the real legit ones have sight-ins on top. And I was hoping that they would make an exception for that, so I just shot all my targets, and they didn't, and it sucked because I had some good shots. I had some really good shots. It really sucked. And then the second round of bench rest, my luck was going so well that I did my sight-ins in the right place, and like 10, 12 maybe, I go to shoot my first target and my trigger jams. And I don't know exactly what it was. We got it going without really an explanation, but later on I found out that I think the push rod was not the right distance. So I mean the rod, the push, I think it is a push rod. So I adjusted that and I got it working perfectly now, but I only got to shoot 7 targets. So I was so frustrated. And then Sunday, or no, Saturday. No, it was Sunday. Sunday it was going to rain, and no, it wasn't Sunday. It was Saturday. I apologize. Saturday, I was supposed to have PRS after bench rest, which I did that other longer range event the day before. Um, I did the bench rest, and then when I was leaving, I said, okay, what time is such and such unit up for PRS? And they said 1 o'clock after lunch. So that's what the schedule says: lunch 12 to 1, and then it was at 1 o'clock. So I come back at five to 1. I'm pulling up at 5 to 1, and they're already all going. So I guess like most of the people didn't leave, and they all just stayed and went because it was going to rain. And I'm like, you know, an hour of it is over, and I was just so pissed off, and nobody called, nobody did nothing. It was just very unorganized. It was the first year of it. With, you know, I mean, the guys from Northeast Airguns, they did a good job. I mean, it was their first year doing this, so you know, you gotta take all that into consideration, and they you know, they got it done, and but it just was not very organized, which, you know, they'll have some more experience with this next year, and hopefully it'll go smoother. But um, also, you know, they should be able to depend on us. Like, I mean, I wasn't doing anything like this, but in that longer range event, people were in a certain order, and you got to be able to expect those people to maintain that order without, you know, watching over them like children. I mean, really. But no, they don't do that. And even when I first got there, the you know, you get 15 minutes at a time to do your sighting in at 100 yards, and people should be switching every 15 minutes, and I'm seeing the same people go 3, 4, 5 times, and I waited 2.5 hours to get up there for 15 minutes, and I said, fuck this, I'm staying for one more turn, and I did 30 minutes, and that was it. That was it, and that took me 3 hours to get 30 minutes, 2.5 hours of waiting, 30 minutes of shooting, and that was a fiasco. It was just there was only, I think, was it 15 benches and 100 people, and I don't know if it was more than 100 or not, but I from what they said, it was 100, or it was gonna be 100, but that was back when I first found out about it, months before it actually happened. So that's how it went. You know, it was just kind of shitty because there wasn't enough of them to keep an eye on everybody, and they were doing the best that they could. And you know, it's not no negative reflection on Northeast Airguns, because they put this thing on because they went out of their way to do this for us, and you know, they did a damn good job, and they just didn't have enough manpower to babysit everyone. But really, they shouldn't have to babysit anyone. There's no babies there. So that's the frustrating part. It's not about the event. It's about other people not all of them. There was a lot of respectful, responsible people there that were, you know, respectful of each other and doing the right thing. But you know, and I feel bad that I fed into it, and I went for 2 turns for 15 minutes. But I mean, I just was so frustrated that I was waiting 2.5 hours watching all these people go over and over, and that I just said screw it, and that wasn't right. So I shouldn't have done that, even though I was frustrated, and even though other people were doing it. But I can't take it back now, so it is what it is. But you know, I just I had a good time though. I met a lot of great people, which is, you know, more. I mean, you know, nobody sponsors me. I've told you guys that. I don't. I sponsor myself. So one of my companies, all of my companies sponsor me. So that's 3 LLCs. I have 3 companies. They all sponsor me. So the only person I have to let down is myself. So as far as the competition goes, I had a good time. I met a lot of good people. That's a win to me. I actually met Nikolai, the guy. He's from Russia, and he makes these very unique bipods that are unbelievable. They have one stick that comes under the gun, and you can adjust it up, down, left, and right with that one stick. They're amazing, and somebody introduced me to him, and he's gonna make me one. I paid him for it right then and there. I also found somebody to make me a part that I need, which you know, you'd be surprised that I can't make it. I'm sure I could make it with the lathe. I just don't have, you know, by the time I buy the aluminum in that size that I need, it's gonna probably cost me more than he charged me for it, because it's what he does. You know, he's the guy that machines parts for Donnie FL, which it's not a Donnie FL moderator I'm having to make the part for, but you know, I've discussed that before. But anyways, he was an awesome guy. You know, I mean, everybody needs a job. But and I met a lot of guys from you know, from other YouTube channels, like big airgun channels, that are that are very knowledgeable and very experienced, and it was honestly, that to me was worth more than any of the prize money. So, because money comes and goes, but stuff like that, you don't get a second chance at. It's That's the whole concept of me doing this channel. Is like, I'm not looking for people to sponsor it or anything like that. I do it because I'm trying to help out you guys that are watching them. And the only reason I've continued to do them is because I've gotten good feedback from you guys. Not anybody else, not any other reason. That's, honest to God, the only reason why I have continued to do these. So, I don't know, how many other people are out there doing them for that reason, but also a guy that I met, he has another channel, The Shootist. Um, he got sponsored, which I was very happy for him, because it seemed like that's what he wanted. He got sponsored by FX, which that's awesome for him. I'm very happy for him, because it seemed like he wanted to, like that was, he was happy about it. So I was really happy for him. I mean, I honestly wouldn't take a sponsorship if it was offered to me, even if my cards counted and I had gotten, a really high score. I never would have. I never would have taken a sponsorship, because I can't. My not because I don't want to shoot that much. I would love to, but I have a business. I have multiple businesses that I can't be away that often. I mean, I'm trying to figure out a way, because I'm taking an actual vacation with my fiance this month. No, May, next month. But I'm trying to figure out a way to actually get to Armac. I don't even know if I'm going to make it there. So, because it's only a month away, and it's probably going to be right during my vacation, my luck. But anyways, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But the point of the video was to tell you guys about the competition, and overall, I consider it a huge win, because I met some really good people. I saw some other people have some big successes, and shit like that. Everybody should be happy for them, but envy it's one of the 7 deadly sins for a reason. But anyways, with the 800 millimeter barrel, if you have the Saber Tactical top rail, I mean, honestly, the owner of the pellet shop is pretty awesome too. I met him, and he helped me out getting me this 30 caliber barrel, 800 millimeter, the day before or a couple days before the competition, overnighted. Was really awesome. But he sells these for $5. So I mean, honestly, I just happen to have the grommet, but for $5, he's got some really reasonable prices. So if you guys need stuff like aftermarket FX parts, that's probably a good place to be buying them, because he's really reasonable with that stuff. Surprisingly reasonable, because you don't see too many. I haven't seen any other places that are lower. I mean, there's a couple that compete with them, but there's nobody lower. So, anyways, it's another good thing to learn. Good people to meet. I got to meet him. I got to meet a lot of people, and I got to learn about the Scout Epic. And I was really interested in that. I met the owner of the company, both of them, the brothers. The gun I was kind of impressed with, but at the same time, the guy next to me, both of the 2 bench rests, he was next to me, and both of the 2 bench rests, his gun failed. So I mean, I had a trigger jam the one time, but that's my own fault, because I didn't go through my gun well enough before that. The night before, I went out in the woods. I found a spot out in the woods where I would have had 500 yards if I needed it. But I used 80 yards, because that's all I could get where I could see straight, because it was heavily wooded. So I'm lucky I got the 80 yards. And I was out there with a spotlight, one of my Milwaukee spotlights, on the target in the dark until 10:30 at night shooting, and my trigger didn't have any problems. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. It happens. But by the time I got it fixed, I had 2 minutes left. I got like 7 out of 25 targets. It was just really, and those were rushed. They were still okay, but they were rushed, and it just really sucks. It just really sucked the way that happened. But anyways, I mean, that's just the shooting part. The rest of the time, And the long range event, I was happy to be able to hit those longer than 100-yard targets with slugs, and I used my Pantera for that, even though my impact would have done it just as well. But for some reason, even with the 800 millimeter barrel, I feel like that is a better long range gun for like serious long range, like more than 100 yards. I don't know. I may be wrong. I mean, I don't know for certain. I'm just, the way it feels to me, that did the best when I was practicing for this tournament, for this competition. That did the best out of every gun except the Rattler, which I couldn't use there because it was semi-automatic, which I didn't even know, or I wouldn't have brought it. But I mean, anyways, a few guys were interested to see it that hadn't seen it before, so I guess it was worth bringing it. But really, the people I met there, that was the win for me. So everything I went there for, I got more than I could have anticipated going there for. The bipod from that guy, the part being made, the relationships, getting to know some new people and that have the same passion, that enjoy doing this. It was totally worth the trip, totally worth all of it. So it was better than winning. Honestly, if I had won on top of all that, I mean, you know, how do you even describe that? You already won, and then you win again. So, anyways, I'm gonna finish this up. I think I just need to shave it a little bit more, and so I've been doing a lot of air gun stuff, but I also do a lot of working on my vehicles. I have a Dodge Challenger, which I blew the clutch on, which I was expecting because it's way too much power for the clutch that's in it. It's a stock clutch, and the car's tuned. It's got the whole exhaust. I did long tube headers, high flow cats, cat pack MagnaFlow, a 95 millimeter throttle body spacer. I've got all the air intake plumbed to the two middle headlights. I plumbed in both of them. I bought a flange and I made a separate port to go to the second headlight. The hood scoop, it's a shaker edition, so I have the hood scoop and the two headlights. The whole rest of the airbox is sealed off, top, bottom, everything. So that's the only place it gets air from, is those two headlights and the hood scoop. And it gets like within 10 degrees temperature of the outside temperature for intake air temperature. So it works pretty phenomenal. And it's an extremely fast car. I mean, it's at least 650 horsepower right now, and that's being conservative. So the stock clutch just wasn't going to take it. As you can see, that works pretty damn well. And this was just a grommet, like, you know, if you drill a hole in your firewall or something, you see the space in the middle. I think I have another one that was smaller and I didn't know which size I needed. I'll show you because I'm going to go put it on the gun so you guys can see. So the clutch was overdue, and I knew I had to do it. I went with a double disc metallic ram clutch, and the throwout bearing, the pilot bearing, the studs, I got all new studs, a new flywheel, because I'm not going to do this twice. I'm not going to open any of that stuff back up to have to replace one of those other parts. While I'm in there, I did every part near it. I have to get a new clutch cable from Dodge, so I'm going to do that before I do the job. So this is the other gasket, or grommet. So you see, it's just like a line in the middle. So that would be going around your firewall, where it would have a lip over either side. I'm sure you guys have seen them before, but it was just the largest size that I had in the kit, and it looks like it's going to fit just perfect. I just got to pull it up a little bit. That might be too much. So now I might have to re-zero the scope. Oh, speaking of scopes, so this is a brand new scope. I just got this. I used my Vortec Viper, my Vortec Razor for the competition, which honestly I probably should have used this. This would have been this is just as clear of a scope, and it's a Bushnell Elite Tactical DMR3, and this scope is phenomenal. I mean, listen to these turrets. Oh, that's my 0 step. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but I mean they're very crisp. There's no play in between clicks. There's no play at all. Everything is built very well, and it's ED glass. It's ED. I think it's ED Pro or something. It's like a step up from the regular ED glass. It's really an awesome scope. I'm very, very happy with that scope. It was, and for the price especially, because you're not going to get a razor for $1,500. Well, you can get the light version of the razor for $1,500, but this is like a razor Gen 3 is $3,000. So this is a fairly affordable scope in comparison to that. But also there's some great scopes out there for a lot less too. So I mean, I can't say that this is the best scope to go with. It all depends on your circumstances, but in that price range for $1,500, I've yet to find one better. And I've had that less expensive razor, and it's just this is better. So I'm surprised, because I'm a Vortex guy. I really like Vortex scopes, but this and Burris too. My Burris XTR3 is still my favorite scope out of any of them. This is definitely my second. It just came in and snatched second place when I got it. I wish I had bought this before the competition, or it had come in before the competition rather. All right, well that looks pretty damn solid. Let me give you guys a close up, because I've been trying to be better about that. Okay, sorry about that. So if you can see, now I can see, you can see right there. See, nice and tight, everything's lined up. And then I'm going to put the fitting in the end and tension the barrel and put the suppressor back on, which I think I told you guys about the suppressors. I mean, make your own if you have the means, because that's really the most effective way, because then you know it's the best it can be. So let's get a little tension on it. I don't like that. Oh, well, this will go right against it, though. Once I tighten this down. Yeah, it's not too bad. That should, once I tension this, that should tighten right up. I may shave a little more off of it, just because I'm a crazy perfectionist, but we'll see what my point of impact looks like. Okay. Oh yeah, that's solid as hell now. I actually had my GRS bipod on this, and I did that because I didn't have this barrel touching this anymore, but now I'm not going to be able to use it on here anymore. So back on the Rattler it goes, which I actually have the UTG overbore bipod, but that one can be used as an underbore also, which honestly I think the GRS probably can be too, but it would be crazy high. All right, let me take a shot and see if my point of impact is near where it was before. Yeah, that glass is just so fucking clear. I gotta shoot some with no holes, because I don't know where I am. Oh yeah, point of impact is way up. I believe that's it up there. It's way high. So that, and I also just put one of the carbon fiber liners inside the barrel. I took it out of my 30 caliber and I put it in here. It's a 700 millimeter, because I haven't been able to find the 800 millimeter, the inner liner sleeves yet, to go between the actual barrel liner and the inner barrel, or the actual barrel and the barrel liner, I should say. I haven't found them for the 800 millimeters, but I had the 700 millimeter, and I used O-rings, the original O-rings, one up front and one at the back of it. change my point of impact dramatically. I don't know if I'm way high or way low, but once I find out where I am, I want to see how consistent it is. Okay, there I am. But, oh yeah, there we go, that'll work. A lot of adjustment. So I'm definitely going to shave some more off of that, but I'm going to be zeroed in a second here if I'm not already. And it really, those ATN scopes advertising one shot zero, you can zero your own scope, a manual scope in one shot. Pretty damn close. Let's see. Get it to stay where I was aiming. That should be it right there. Let's see. Closer, definitely. Let me see if I can move that off. Okay, so it's definitely a click low. Now that was high. Okay, I held it low and that made it low. It's pretty consistent now. I'm just always looking for like ultimate accuracy because I want it perfect like everything else. Oh, that was dead center. That's right there. Okay, but I'm gonna shave this down a little bit more and get it where I'm happy with it because I don't feel like I should have had to adjust that much. I feel like that was too far down. So this has got to be pushing the barrel down a little bit. So I'm gonna adjust that. I'm gonna take this off and shave that down a little bit. But obviously I'm not gonna keep going back and forth adjusting it and keep recording and make you guys watch the whole thing. Or if you even left it on. But anyways, I did want to make a quick video to mention what happened with the competition and I was doing this, so I figured I would show you guys if you end up going with the 800 millimeter barrels, how to make it fit your Saber tactical rail if you have it. But I have a feeling once I get this to fit right, which I probably should have just spent the $5 and waited a couple of days because I mean, dude, for that price, it's a no-brainer. But I'm just impatient sometimes, so that's more what it is than anything. So I'm gonna finish this, and plus I have time right now, and I may not have then, when I came in. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll finish this up. I'll let you guys know next video how it went, but you're gonna be seeing a lot more vehicle content because I'm going to be changing the clutch, which is a major job. I got to drop the whole exhaust, which I installed the whole exhaust. I have to drop the transmission. I have to, and then the clutch is right in the front of the transmission and the bell housing going to the motor. So it's a pretty big job. I got to take the inside of the car out, the whole center console, the whole shifter, everything, and I did all that too. It's a Barton short throw. So you guys will get to see my car, and I'm kind of into that stuff too. That's why my workshop has a lot of metalworking stuff and automotive stuff. So you guys will get to see a little bit of that side of what I do in my spare time, what little there is, but I make it work. hopefully I'll be able to show you guys something. I've never done a clutch on this car, so it's a new job for me. I know the car really well, but I don't know that part of the car yet. But I'm gonna get to know it real soon. So the stuff is already ordered, should be here in a few days. So if anybody's into muscle cars and fast cars, then you'll enjoy that content. And I'll definitely take a ride when it's done and do some burnouts and send the drone up to tape it. All right, so I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.